A warm welcome to Alan's Allotment, guys. If it's your first time on here, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon on the right. And every time I put up a new video, you'll be alerted. This channel is a bit of a mixed bag. We have rare-coloured racing pigeons, we have racing pigeons, we have fantails, we have a no-dig growing area that we transformed, and we have a polytunnel. We also do several DIY projects on this channel, guys. Not all of them are successful, some are a complete disaster, but follow me along and you'll see. It's no holds barred, basically. If I make a mistake on these videos, you get to see it in all its glory and you get a laugh at my expense. I don't mind, and I hope you enjoy the videos, guys. To all my subscribers currently, a massive thank you as always. And as I say, if you're new here, guys, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon on the right, and that would be much appreciated. I'll see you later, guys. Morning, guys. It's Monday day. It's Sunday even. Sunday the 27th of July 2020. I had a bit of a lay-in this morning till about 8 o'clock, and then when I got up it was pretty miserable, cold, windy, wet, and I decided, I'm not going to rush up here, so I didn't. When I jumped in the car this morning, I was about to set off, and it dawned on me I had some vacant space in those beds over there now from yesterday, after having a bit of a clear down with the cauliflowers and the lettuces, etc. So I thought, it's a bit late to start planting things from seed, so I'm going to have a little pop round to Morrison's and see if we've got any vegetable plug plants already started or something like that, that we can pretty much go right in with and try and play a little bit of catch up. The moral of the story is I went round to Morrison's this morning and they had absolutely no vegetable plug plants. However, what I did get my eye on was some dwarf fruit trees, which caught my eye. And as you know, I'm a bit of a sucker for rescuing plants. And they aren't that bad, actually. They're reasonable. They need a good feed, basically. They're clearly lacking now because they're pot bound, basically. But the dwarf trees, and I haven't made my mind up whether I'm just going to pot them into slightly bigger pots with plenty of cow manure and one thing and another, give them a good feed and keep them in pots somewhere over in the growing area, or whether I'm actually going to prepare a bit of ground for them and put them in the ground, because they are a dwarf variety. They won't grow much bigger than those apple trees and pear trees that's over in the other garden, which, by the way, aren't going to produce fruit this year, and the reason because of the bed being the way it was. We need get some organic material on that bed at the back end of this year, and we'll see different results next year, guys. So yeah, from the fruit tree perspective, it's a dead loss this year. They have produced every year when they were direct in the ground, but it was in very poor ground where they were, and it was constantly waterlogged. Hence the reason why we uprooted them and put them in there in the first place. Plus, with the shock transplant, they did try to flower early doors in the year, but then they went back on me, and all the flowers just dropped off. They didn't actually bloom very much. So we'll get nothing fruit-wise out of any of those trees, but next year will be a different story, I'm sure. So back to the story. So I got my eye on these fruit trees, and because they are dwarf, I do like the dwarf varieties. The plum tree I have over there basically isn't a dwarf variety. It was a super huge job which I've had to bring back under control again, as you can see. And as a result of doing that, I might get some plums out off that next year. we'll cut it back again this year and trim it and shape it and just keep selected branches, and hopefully we'll get some plums off it next year. Likewise with the pear trees. But the apple trees have always, they're a dwarf variety that I bought many moons ago, and they have always fruited, even from day one, from the very first year. And they were probably only a foot tall, and I got 3 or 4 little apples on each of the trees. They were only tiny, but now I've had them a few years and they've grown a little bit. They won't get much bigger than that, and of course I can keep them controlled. I do like the dwarf variety of fruit trees. Back to the story. So I bought myself a peach tree, a cherry tree, and another pear tree in the dwarf variety. So that's what I've done. I'll give you a quick look at those later on. As I say, I haven't made my mind up yet whether they're going to put it, just transplant them into large pots and keep them in the growing area and staked, so that, especially with the peach tree, it can possibly be brought into the polytunnel winter months. The pear and the apple will fare just fine, but the peach tree may need a bit of protection in the winter months, so I'll need to do a bit of research on the peach tree. But like I said, they're all dwarf varieties, so and the peach and the cherry varieties I don't have. So we're going to see how that goes, guys, and I'll give you a quick look at that later. Today my intentions are, even though it's late, it's now 11:30 in the morning already. I have done all the birds, all the chickens and the pigeons and everything, but I do have some corn bins that needs topped up in there. But if I get nothing else done, I'm going to try and get at least a covering over that bed where the cucumbers are. And I'm seriously thinking about pulling those cauliflowers back out of there, because I don't really want plants that attract slugs and butterflies in that bed along with the cucumbers. And of course brassicas do that. So I'm seriously toying with the idea that I just sacrifice those 6 cauliflowers, or where we put the other 9 cauliflowers, now that we've cleared out the lettuces, scratching a line down there and maybe just put them in there and see what happens. But then it'll mean another covering I need to make, and I don't think I'm going to have time today, guys. So anyways, I'm going to have this cup of coffee as always. So I'll stop babbling for now, and we'll come back to you if and when we get something done, and we'll give you a look around, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Right, guys, a little bit of an update in here. So this is the nest that we're looking at with the dark checker hen and the opal cock, that we ended up with a total of 5 eggs on, somehow over a period of about 4 or 5 days. We left them with 2 of themselves, and there is a youngster hatched out on there now. However, I don't know how or why, but the other egg has completely disappeared, and there's no sign of any dead youngster or anything like that, so there's just the one youngster in there, and I've literally just put a ring on it. It's a bit early, but I'll need to double check it through the week. Moving down, we have what looks as though it's going to be an almond in this nest. This is underneath the little project almond and the yellow hen, and I've put them in a new nest pan because the hen's wanting to lay again. And I don't want her going up into this top nest, so I'm going to see if she will lay in that. And they have been sitting in the bowl. They are basically sitting a youngster that is off this almond cock and brown hen. And that also, they also have one of their own youngsters, which again looks like another almond. Down to the full stencil cock. He's sitting a youngster off the race check hen and the opal cock, and it's coming along fine. It looks to be a checker. And then she's sitting the other youngster in the top nest, which looks like it's going to be an opal. She's also about to lay again. I need to get a nest pan in with her, although she did go and lay in the nest pan again, even with the other 2 youngsters the last time round. But I think I might put her another nest pan in there just to make it easier for her. The brown hen also is showing signs of wanting to lay again, and the milky was as well yesterday. Now I put another nest pan in there for the milky yesterday, and as you can see, she's already laid. She's laid another egg. And these youngsters, as I said, they're only 12, 14 days old, but she's decided she wanted to lay again, so she has. And then likewise in the bottom here we have another 2 eggs. It's been there for a while now, off the brown bar cock and the reduced hen. And I've decided I am going to take another couple of youngsters off them, see if we get a different result, colour and or a similar colour to the ones we've got. Now if we get a similar colour again, then we will be changing the mate on this hen. Not necessarily this year, but we will be changing the mate. I've got enough of those now, and that'll do for me. Just a quick update, guys. Right guys, I'm not sure how the wind's affecting this. It's got quite windy now, so I'm just going to give you a quick look at these little dwarf trees that I've bought. So as you can see, this one's a cherry, little cherry tree, and they're basically designed for patios and things like that, but clearly it's reached its capacity in these pots. These are 10-inch pots, I think, and they probably would flourish in there as long as you kept on feeding them and looked after them. Well, so they're like 15 quid a piece, these, and I'm sure they'll have these in your Morrisons if some of these are something you're interested in, guys. They've got lots of different varieties, nectarines and all sorts, but I don't like nectarines, so I just got what I like. Ironically, I don't like cherries, but Louise does, so yeah. But they do look nice when they're in bloom. And then this one here is a peach. So this one here is a little peach tree, and they're all on dwarf stock root. So they don't, even when you transplant these into the ground, they don't grow much bigger than those apple trees that you see I have over in the growing area. And as you can see, they're looking a little bit worse for wear, because they don't get looked after in the supermarkets, they don't get watered regularly, and they certainly don't get any feed. But they're not too bad. I can recover these. And then we've got a little pear tree here as well on a dwarf stock. 1 or 2, a little bit of blacking on some of the leaves, but we can rectify that, give it a bit of a treatment, and we can. They're obviously not going to fruit this year, guys. And this one here is a pear tree. Yeah, pear tree. But as you can see, they have a number of different varieties, so if these are something you're interested in, you sell down to your local Morrisons and see, have yourself a pick through them. And again, as I said, they're like 15 quid a piece, but that's not a bad price, because if you look after them, they will produce. And it's nice to have just your own fruit as well as vegetables in your allotment. So like I said, guys, I'm probably in the first instance going to just pot these on into bigger pots and give them a bit of a feed with cow manure in the bottom or something like that, and some slow release fertiliser on the top. I've just came out and the wind had actually blew these over. I'm going to just drop them down onto the ground to shelter them a little bit until I can get ready to do something with them. So I just thought I'd give you a quick look at them, guys. Yeah, they're a good price for what they are. I believe they are anyways. I'll catch you later, guys. Hi again, guys. I'm back in the shed already. Right, it's actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. So I'll give you a quick look at those little dwarf trees that I'd bought, and then I'll give you a quick look around that stock loft. It also dawned on me, in the other stock loft there was one more youngster under the reduced opal cock and the almond hen, which are actually sitting on a mystery egg that came out of that dark checker's nest. So it looks like we've got only 2 out after all of that, out of the 5 eggs. As you know, the frill stencils were 1 didn't hatch. We've only got 1 off the pair that we left them with, so there's only 1 came out of there. The other egg mysteriously disappeared. I don't know where it's gone. And then the other 2 that was put under the almond and the almond, both the eggs stayed on the nest. The other one's actually still in there and it needs throughout now, to be honest. And the other youngster hatched. But what's clear so far, although we've only got 2 to try and get to the bottom of the mystery of, the one underneath the dark check and the opal cock looks as though it's still early days, but it looks like it's going to be either a dark check like the race hen, or it's going to be a dark opal. It's not big enough to actually tell the colour, but it's going to be a dark bird, dark beak and dark legs. Now, the one that came out of that nest that got put under the reduced cock and the almond hen has a pink beak. And I wouldn't expect to get anything off that pair, the dark check hen and the upper cock with the pink beak. So I've got a funny feeling this is going to turn out to be potentially an almond. Which mean one of two things: either the yellow hen off the Project Almond cock has been going up there in the lane, and potentially that little Project Almond cock could be the father, or the other almond cock that's paired to the brown hen had mated with that dark check hen. That's another possibility, guys. So we'll have to wait and see just what they turn out like. It might be that I'm completely wrong and it isn't an almond, but it has a pink beak. It could turn out to be a pied. However, I don't have any pies in that loft. If it comes out a nice white bar, I'll be extremely delighted, but I won't hold my breath on that one, guys. Right, so after I give you those little 2 bits of tours, I decided, right, it was time to fill up all the grits and mineral pots in every one of the stock lofts, in every one of the lofts, basically. Clean out the nest boxes on the chickens, top up the water pot over for the chickens, fill up the water containers for the pigeon sheds. A number of the corn dustbins were about half empty, so I decided I would fill all those up as well. Then checking in the store shed where I keep the feed for the hens, that was right down on both bins, so I had to fill those up as well. So overall it's taken me about an hour and a half, guys. And as I said, it's 1 o'clock again now. It's just after 1 o'clock. So I've just came back in and I'm having a cup of coffee. Quite a lot of humping and dumping with the 25 kilo bags and the 25 kilo and the 25 litre water containers. So yeah, I'm just having a cup of coffee and catch my breath again. And then I probably am going to go over and at least try and have a go at sealing that bed off with a mesh framing of some description. I haven't made my mind up yet what I'm going to do, but just follow me along and you'll see what happens anyways, guys. Right, I'm babbling again. I'm going to have this coffee and I'll catch you later. See you later, guys. Right, guys, I'm finally making a start. It's 1:30 now. So what I've done is I've brought over these. Remember these bamboos I showed you in an earlier video? There's 50 here and they're 8 foot long in old money. But they are really, really substantial bamboos, guys, as you can see. Look at the size of these. And they're all but perfectly straight. So what I thought I'd do is I'd use some of these to try and make up some form of framing round this. I don't know how this is going to go, guys. You're just going to have to bear with me, and I also don't know how the wind's affecting this. But I'm going to try and see if I can get out of the wind, guys. I'm going to try and make some sort of a frame around this, and see what we can conjure up. I want something to be semi-permanent but at the same time accessible. So stay with me, guys, and we'll see what we manage to achieve. I'll see you later, guys. Bye. Right, guys, I'm not sure how the wind's going to affect this, but we'll try and get it over with before the wind gets up high. Right, so this should hopefully be a semi-permanent structure that we can use year upon year. And I've took a bit of time over this. We're now on 3 o'clock. So by the time I got started at 1:30, yeah. So I've took a bit of time over it. And I'm still not finished. But I just want to show you the progress so far, guys. And what I've actually done. So what I've done here is we put a cross member in between these two uprights here. We just used a bit of lath. Some of those old ones that we reclaimed down there. Took the nails out. Put an end piece on there. And likewise on this side here as well, guys. Now I still need to go down the back sides of these, and what I'll do is I'll probably stretch it tight and I'll put some more lath screwed on there, get a nice tight, because I don't need the ends to be accessible. But what I've basically done is I've ran 3 of these 8-foot bamboos, 1 on each side and 1 down the centre, so that if I decide I want to grow something that I can hang strings from in the centre of this bed, then I can. So we can use it for year on year for, say, tomatoes or cucumbers or anything that needs a bit of a string to support it, guys. I've decided these cauliflowers are coming out because I really do believe they may just attract slugs and other things. This should absolutely keep the birds out now, guys, once I'm finished and I've put the end pieces on. But I just want to show you what we've actually done here. So in the sides of the beds, you'll see we've put 4 screws. And then what we've done with the green meshing, it was a nice size. So from here across and down was our 6 foot wide green mesh, basically. And what I've done here is, you'll see when I let go of this, I've actually wrapped the bamboo round the bottom, and in theory I can just drop it like that, and there you go. And then just to put a bit of tension on there, what we do is we simply just take this and pop it under that screw there, come this end and pop the bamboo under the screw, and that makes this nice and tight, guys. And of course there's the other 2 that we need to go on, do the same with. So we just, there we go, 1, and actually no, these need, that's right, these needed moved on this side. But yeah, so we've got 2 that we can show you what's meant to happen. Basically that clips under there, and even 2 is actually holding it, to be honest with you. So there we go, and that gives us quite a bit of tension on here. That gives us quite a bit of tension on here as well, up against the bed, but it's not 100%. So what I've done on this side here, and again this has a bamboo running right through the bottom, simply hooked under the screws, as you can see, in between those 2, and then on this end it's hooked underneath, and likewise at that end there, guys. Sorry about the camera work. Right, I'm trying to do this, shield the microphone, and at the same time I'm trying to video it as well and show you what I'm doing. So we have another bamboo on this one as well. So basically what happens is, I can now, it's very accessible this as well now, so what I can do is I can basically lift this side up and just lay the bamboo on the top, or I can come round this side and do exactly the same as we just showed you there, guys. So again, I'm just going to unhook these, and it's as simple as sitting that up there, guys, and there's our full access back to the bed for dressing it down, putting lime on, cow manure at the back end, putting cardboard in, whatever we need to do and to tend to the plants. So we really only need one side open, but I've made it accessible from both sides. With hindsight, I could have just latted down that side, screwed it and made it a permanent fixture, but there's nothing like having access from both sides. Right, guys, so that's the progress so far. Hope this has been of some use to somebody. And looking at this, actually, I'm actually seriously thinking now, depending on how this works out, of doing a similar sort of thing down these beds, or a mixture of the tall frames like this with nice easy access, maybe across, I don't know, say the 3 back beds, and then these 3 beds here, leaving these ones with this type of framing. However, as you can see in here now, these cabbages and cauliflowers, they're getting quite cramped in there now, guys, and I'm not sure if the big taller structures like this wouldn't be more better benefit. We'll have a think about it, guys, but I'm not going to get much more done other than this finished perhaps today. So I better crack on, and I'll catch you later, guys. Bye. Right, guys, that's it, we're finished. It's now 20 to 4 and the wind's getting still strong. What you'll see across the bottom here is we've got some wooden laths holding the side mesh on. They're like a permanent, semi-permanent fixture. However, you'll also notice that where I've actually fixed the laths, they're all done with screws. I build everything with screws, and then if ever I decide I want to change this all round, I can come along with the screwdriver, whip all these laths out, take this entire frame down and change it all over again, guys. However, I'm relatively pleased with the result, and as I said, it's double access. I can get it from this side or I can get it from the other side, and these can be thrown right over there. There's good height there for me to get in, for mucking out, weeding, planting. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the result. You'll also see just dotted here and there is a couple of little screws, and all I've done is simply just stretch this over, and we can just do that and unhook them if we need to. It just adds a little bit, it just seals it off a bit more, that's all, guys. But yeah, really pleased with the result on this, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'll see you later, guys. Bye. Just something else I thought I'd show you guys. I got one of these bamboos and I've just literally stood it up against this post and poked it down the back of this wire, and I've tied the bunting flags that was in here. I've literally tied the top, one of these around the top. It's probably a little bit on the long side, but I have now, it's sort of made me think, if I dot a few of these around with these on, it might just help to deter the crows. It's the crows that's doing the damage, not so much the little blackbirds, but the crows and the ravens are really playing havoc in here, guys. But yeah, it looks like we've got a little butterfly here, look. Looks like we've got that on just in time, guys. Right, so I have actually left the cauliflowers in there for now because I've run out of time and I'm not going to do any more. It's 20 to 4. I've had enough. By the time I have my cup of coffee and the round up in the shed, it's home time, guys, and I need some food. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed today's little video. Hope you think this is sort of useful and it's something you may want to try yourself. Oh, by the way, guys, I've got another 50 of these bamboos coming as well. They're just so good. I just thought, you know, for the price, I think they were 55 quid for 50, so it'll work out just over £1 a piece. If you take the postage into consideration as well, which is included in that, they're about £1 each, and the other 5 is the postage, I suppose. But they really are good. They're long, they're straight, they're strong, and I'm sure I can find lots and lots of things to do with these guys. And like I said, I might even do something similar on these beds here yet, because you get that extra height. You really do get that extra height for things, cabbages and whatever, and if they can't bush out. What I have learned is putting 3 cauliflowers in one of these beds is not quite wide enough. The centre one tends to get smothered out, which is what I've seen over there. So going forward we'll be reducing the numbers to 2, but obviously we'll get, I don't know, 1 to 4, we'll maybe get 8 in a bed, but I'll have to be conscious that that'll take a full bed for 8 plants. But then again, there is only me and Louise, so yeah, we're not going to need masses and masses. Right, guys, for now, as I say, I'm going to tidy all this lot up, put the tools away, one thing or another, and then I'm going for a cup of coffee and I'll catch you in the shed. See you in a minute. Hi again, guys, back in the shed again now for the final roundup. Just having a well-earned cup of coffee. Right, so yeah, I'm rather pleased with the result of that cage that I've built, and the nice easy access with it, and the way you can get the tension on the actual meshes. It's really good, and I think it's going to be really good going forward, guys. So I have all of those other bamboos, still quite a lot. I think I've only used 5 out of the 50 that I have, so I've still got 45 of those and another 50 coming. So I'm sure I can make good use of these bamboos. We might do some other structures in the garden with them as well. I'm not sure what yet, but you know, we'll come up with some ideas. And the thing is, I'll have them there on hand if I decide I want to do something else. But I'm thinking at least some of the beds, I might actually just use the bamboos, cut down in half, 4 foot as the corner posts and the centre struts. And I might actually make similar beds or similar coverings on the beds that's existing in there, because you don't have any bricks on the ground, you don't have any wood on the ground, and you get that nice tension on the side, and it just keeps one, they'll protect the plants from wind to a degree. They'll protect them from really harsh rain to another degree, and they look relatively tidy. I think they do, anyways. And it's just cable ties, bamboos, and netting. Now, I know I didn't invent these. People have been using these for years and years and years. I've never used bamboo structures in the past, but I'm seriously thinking about and contemplating it now. And I'm just sort of pleased with the way that turned out. And now I'm thinking of implementing the idea across some more of the beds. Not necessarily them all, but some of the beds. I might still use the PVC piping and still make some modularized bed by screwing laths to the actual post. Things that I can lift inside so they fit internal inside the bed, and make them into twos per bed. So I can just lift them out and plonk them down and tend to things. Predominantly for vegetables that don't grow tall, as in cabbages and Brussels sprouts and things like that, but more like radish, onions, carrots, turnips to a greater or lesser degree, and several other low-growing varieties. I'm thinking they might actually be invaluable, just having the little modularized ones where I can just lift them off, tend to them, pick them, whatever, and plonk it back on again. And I think that will have its benefits as well, which again can leave the bed completely exposed if I wish to, or just put them back after I've dressed the beds in winter and just sit them there and peg them down and leave them to sit there all winter. So yeah, it shouldn't have dawned on me when I came back over as well. I mean, it's actually nearly 5 o'clock now. By the time I put all the tools away in the bamboos and had a quick look around, made sure I hadn't left any tools lying about and one thing or another, it shouldn't have dawned on me when I got back over here, those 3 little trees were still sitting there, little dwarf trees that I've got this morning. And I thought, oh, you know, and too late to do anything with them now, guys. So basically they've got a watering, and I've literally just plonked them in the polytunnel along the path. And they'll just sit there for the time being. They'll be okay till next weekend, I'm assuming, so... and they'll be slightly sheltered in there, I suppose. The only thing I'll need to watch is, because they're sitting on the wood chip path, that it doesn't draw all the moisture out and set them back. So, but I will be coming up midweek as well, after work, as I say, to feed the pigeons that come up each day and have a quick general look around. So if they do look like they need water, we'll give them another watering, guys. And that's going to be something else for next week. I still haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to just repot them onto the bigger pots or do something more permanent with them yet. But I've got time to play with them. They're in the pots. As long as I keep getting them watered, I'll put a bit of general slow-release fertiliser on the top there, and perhaps even mulch the top with some wood chip just to hold moisture. And for now, while I make a decision what I'm going to do with them, they'll be fine. So guys, if you're still with me, then thanks for watching today. I hope someone else has learned something from this. And if you have, then please put some comments in the section below. That would be good. Or let me know what you think about the structure. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's practical, and that's the main thing. It's all about practicality with gardening, guys. Right, as always, thanks for watching, guys. If you are new and you're just viewing this video for the first time, please do consider subscribing. Hit the little bell icon on the right, and that'll alert you every time I put new videos. And that would really be appreciated. As always, guys, stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.